I enjoy recording my videos here. I really enjoy recording my videos here. In fact, this is my favorite spot to record. Part of the reason I enjoy recording my videos here is because in 2015, when I was like really down, I used to come and chill here, think about life, philosophize about life, asking myself the deepest questions. I ended up going back home. 2025, I'm recording videos here. So I guess that's one of the reasons why I enjoy recording my videos here. I want to thank each and every person who's supporting this channel, each and every person who's liking my videos, each and every person who's sharing my videos, each and every person who's commenting on my videos, each and every person who's subscribed to this channel. Your support means a lot. I'm a deep thinker. I don't know how I would cope, thinking the way that I do if I wasn't making videos, expressing myself, if I was not connecting with people who see life the way that I see life, who understand the things that I understand. So I want to thank you all guys for your support. Keep the suggestions coming. In the last video that I published, I think 2 people suggested topics that got like the same amount of likes. So towards the end of this video, we're going to talk about those topics. If you want me to talk about a topic, write a comment. Tell me what topic you'd like me to talk about, and yeah, we'll talk about it. One thing that I don't like about life is that it ends tragically, and we think that is good. Not only do we think that is good, we subconsciously want life to end tragically. In fact, we don't want people to control their fate. We don't want people to have power over how things end for them in this place. That we are totally against people going out peacefully. And I never really understood why. I've watched so many movies in my life, and in almost every movie that I've watched, the main character suffers. Maybe they want freedom, maybe they want success, maybe they want redemption, but you find that they're suffering, but in the end, they find what they're looking for. We like those kind of movies. There's this friend of mine on Facebook who likes to say that life is not a Nigerian movie. You post something tragic and say, just because that has happened to you doesn't mean that things are going to work out for you, because life is not a Nigerian movie. Just because your ex cheated on you with 3-4 people doesn't mean that they're going to suffer. Like they cheated on you and ended up leaving you. That doesn't mean that they're going to suffer. Life is not a Nigerian movie. In Nigerian movie, it's like that. Like if someone cheats, like that's the person that's going to end up losing in the end. If someone is mistreated, that's the person that actually wins in the end. But life is not a Nigerian movie. Just because your ex left you because you were broke, you were born in a poor family, you had nothing, that doesn't mean that they're going to suffer. They might end up succeeding in life, and you might end up in a worse situation than you have been in. Like you could actually find yourself doing way worse than you were when you were with them. Like that does happen in this realm. You think that if you date someone, you date a girl, right? You love her with all your heart. She ends up finding a guy who has money and end up going out with him. Things ain't gonna work out for her. In fact, you would wish that things don't work out for her, so that she'll think about you. She'll be like, ish, but I had a guy that actually loved me. He was just poor, but that guy. But life doesn't work like that. She might end up, having a better life than you, and you might end up having a life that's worse than the life that you had when you were with her. That's life. But the reason why we like those kind of movies is because we see ourselves as the good guys who are suffering and who should, win in the end. You might be suffering financially. You think, hey, I should win in the end. I deserve to win in the end because I've suffered a lot financially. You might be struggling with relationships. Maybe you're not finding the right partner. And you might think, hey, in movies, if you watch movies where guys who are considered to be losers end up getting a girl, like movies like Life Don't Cost a Thing, right? Watch movies like that. Like, that's how it happens. You like those kind of movies, right? So let's say you struggle with finding love and you watch those kind of movies, you're going to love them because you see yourself in those guys. You're like, things are going to work out, like things are going to magically work out, like movies are programming us to think that what we're going through is okay, things are going to work out in the end. When we were kids, we were told that things are going to work out in the end, like study hard now, try now, laugh later, work hard now, you're going to see the results. That's why when you have a job, you don't get paid first before you work and then you get paid. So that's how we've been programmed to look at life. So you suffer now, and then things are going to work out. But unfortunately, life doesn't work like that. That kid that bullied you when you were little, you might find out that they are very successful now. Very, very successful. They have everything that you could ever want, and you have nothing. They bullied you like crazy while you weren't doing anything wrong. You've always respected them. You've treated everyone right. You got bullied by the whole class. Like they bullied you. Like that kid that bullied you the most made everyone else feel like you're a target. So they all started bullying you. Like they made your childhood a living hell. But they're successful. We believe in karma because we've suffered a lot. Like people have suffered a lot. So they think that, hey, if I've suffered, if there are people who have made me suffer, they must suffer in the end. But it doesn't work like that. Sometimes when bad things happen to those who have wronged us, we think it's karma. But really, bad things happen even to those who have not done anything wrong. A bad thing happens to humans. It doesn't matter if you're a good person or a bad person. It doesn't matter if you are hating people or if you're not hating people. Bad things happen to humans. We want this story to make sense, right? We want our story to make sense. You look at your life, you look at all the things that you've been through, you're like, yo, man, I know that as humans we suck, but look at how I've handled that situation. Look at how good I was. Look at how good I was to... I'm going to sit on the other spot because there's a tree. I also used to chill here, so it's kind of like the same thing. Like the whole park, basically, like this was my place. So I must chill under the tree because it's hot today. But yeah, we all want redemption. We all want freedom. We all want things to make sense in the end. We all want our hard work to pay off. No one wants to work hard, try hard, and things never end up working out. But there isn't this invisible force that's looking at your life, that's examining your life, and that's like, you know what, this one deserves good things because they've suffered. A lot of people who have really suffered and nothing worked out for them, and a lot of people who have not suffered, who were causing suffering, and things actually ended up working out for them. In fact, our society tends to reward people for being selfish, right? Narcissists usually win. It's not the people who are fair that actually win in the end. Life itself is neutral, but society tends to favor narcissists. The ones who are only thinking for themselves. The ones who are exploiting others. The ones who don't care how their actions are affecting others. And what's ironic is that we are attracted to these kind of people. Find a girl complaining about how her boyfriend is mistreating her, how her boyfriend doesn't care about her feelings, but she's with him. She's hooked, and she does want to let go, but she can't. She's attracted. You know what I mean? She's addicted to him. So it's how it is. We, as a collective, we favor those that are selfish. I used to chill here. There was another tree here. So I used to chill here when it's hot. You gotta check under the rock because might find some snakes. I don't want to get beat by a snake. But I've never seen a snake this side. Yeah, this is better. Much better. I was thinking about my dad. For those who don't know, my dad passed away last year in September. He used to tell us his story, what he went through growing up. And I would feel like crying, just that I grew up in a non-emotional household. That we don't cry. Like when my dad passed on, no one cried. I mean, I did cry, but I didn't cry in front of people. I remember when my sister sent me a text, I was this side. When my sister sent me a text and said that your dad has passed away. I don't think I responded. Oh, I called my mom. Yes, I called my mom and asked when did they receive a call, and what did they actually say? And she said, my mom, like at the time she couldn't like she was still in shock. So I spoke to my sister. She's the one who told me everything, that they called and said and asked my mom to call our neighbors first so that they will help, because they don't know how she's gonna react to the whole situation. But obviously, if they say something like that, you know that something bad has happened. If they call you from a hospital where the person that you used to visit is. And they say call your neighbors first. You know that something bad has happened. But yeah, I did cry that day. But when I went home, no one was crying. Like, people were crying, but my mom, my sisters, and me, like, no one was crying. So yeah, I remember when I was growing up, my dad would tell us about the bad things that he'd been through, and I would feel like crying. I would feel like crying. Sometimes I would just open the door and act like I'm going to pee, because I didn't want anyone to see me crying. Like, we grew up in a non-emotional house, so like, we don't cry. We don't cry in front of other people. Yeah, he told me about how he grew up. So every time when I think about how he died, I'm like, what was the point? Yes, he had a good wife. I don't think my mom ever cheated on my dad, because children are the first ones to see that. My mom was not very good at hiding things. I'd say he had children that respected him, but he's also been through a lot. So I asked myself, okay, he died. What was the point? Like, the ending wasn't good, right? The ending wasn't beautiful. It's not like his suffering actually paid off. Yes, he's got a job, got a wife, got a family, because that's considered success in this realm, but really, is it? A lot of people, just live their lives and end up passing away, and they don't die. Like, when they die, they've not, like, it's not like something good happens before they die. They just die. Some people die when something good is about to happen. Someone went to school, studied hard, got a good job, bought their first car. 3 days later, they got into a car accident and died. I remember this other comedian. He's a Tsonga comedian. He's from my tribe. He made this joke that I thought was funny, but also sad at the same time. He said there was this guy who used to smoke a lot and drink a lot, and was spending a lot of money on cigarettes and alcohol. So someone advised him that, hey man, what if you stop drinking alcohol and smoking cigarettes, because you waste a lot of money, and start saving money to buy a car. The guy listened, and he decided to save money, stop drinking and smoking, and save money. And when the time came, he bought a car. 1 week later, he got into a car accident and died. Life is so unpredictable, right? Like, it doesn't really matter how you live it. You could protect yourself in every way and still die a horrible death. But yeah, there are a lot of people who have worked very hard for something, who have tried so hard to make their lives better, but you find that their lives end badly. And society doesn't really seem to care that that's how it happens. Like, society doesn't want to give people power over how things end for them. Society will never say, you know what, if you feel like your story made sense to you, if you feel like this will be a beautiful, like now you've gotten what you wanted, you feel like the ending is going to be beautiful, you have a way out. You have a beautiful way out where you'll get the kind of support that you need, where you will get to communicate with the people that you need, the people who have been in your life, and people who've supported you, people who have been part of your story. Like, society will never say yes to that. Society will feel as if that is evil for some reason. So you don't have the right to say, look, I think now, if my life was a movie, I feel like now is the part that the movie ends. Like when you watch movies about like great boxers, right? Muhammad Ali, Mike Tyson, the movie ends when like he has won, maybe he's become a champion. It doesn't have to continue until he get beat and all that. Or like it ends when something good happens. So when it makes sense, just before all the bad things happen after. So obviously, the ending is going to be tragic because no one. Yeah, people sometimes do reach a point where they want to die, but no one wants to die how they do not want to die. You know what I mean? Like no one wants to get sick and die. No one wants to get involved in a car accident and die. No one wants to be bitten by a snake and die. You know what I mean? No one wants to fall over a bridge and die. You know what I mean? No one wants to get stabbed and die. No one wants to get shot and, you know what I mean? Because that's tragic. But your life can end at any moment. That's what sucks, Like there's too much suffering for a life that can end at any moment. Without your consent, without you saying, okay, this is where the movie stops, because you don't have that right. Society has not given you that right to say, okay, this is a beautiful ending. I remember when Jay-Z dropped the Black album, he said he was quitting, like he was quitting music. Black album is one of my favorite albums from Jay. It's not his best, but it's one of my favorites. He made a documentary called Fade to Black, where he was talking about how he grew up, where he had his friends talk about how things were when they were growing up, how he was when he was growing up, and he had a show at Madison Square Garden, performed, like, yeah, I'm just a kid from Brooklyn, but look at where I am. I can't say that I'm sad to see it all go. I'm just glad that it happened at all. And you'd watch the documentary and you'll be emotional. Yeah, that's beautiful. He had control. It could have ended that way if he wanted, but he decided to come back. But yeah, if he wanted it to end that way, it could have ended that way and would have ended beautifully, because he had, he had power, right? But society never really gives you that right. Society doesn't say, hey, Benedict, how do you feel? Do you still feel like, you know what I mean? I could imagine if a person, like if they reached a point in life where they felt like they've lived and it was beautiful, even if it wasn't, but there's still some things, as much as this is like a hell room, like I've been telling y'all, there are still some things that you can say, hey, that was good. You know what I'm saying? Like there are some things that you can say, that was good. There are some experiences that you can say, that was a good experience. I learned a lot from that experience. There are some people that you meet and that you'll say, but even though people may change after some years, but you can say there was a time when that person was good. Because I think people change. That's why I don't blame people when they change. I look at how they were in the beginning and actually appreciate how they were in the beginning if I feel like they were not fake, right? Because there's some people who were in your life who were real, but now you and them are no longer communicating and you feel like they are evil. You forget all the times when they were actually good to you, right? You just feel like they are just evil, like they were fake the whole time, but they weren't. It's just that people change and you never know what they're going to become. So yeah, there are some things to appreciate. Even if you were locked up in prison, there'll still be some things to appreciate. Maybe you meet someone who protects you and who teaches you some things. You appreciate that. You don't like that you're in prison, but you are learning a lot from that person. You know what I mean? That person has been there for you. That person means a lot to you because of how they treated you. So, being able to talk about that talk about how that helped you, show your love to people who have been there for you. People, even if you're no longer, close with them, but then just because they've been there for you at some point, that's beautiful. Society doesn't give us that right. I've never understood why. So that automatically means that the ending is going to be tragic. Because your life can end at any moment. The dream can end at any moment. It's not like a movie. The reason why we love movies is because those who make these movies make stories that they know we're gonna like. They know that we like happy endings, all of us. So they make movies that they know we're gonna like. I don't know if I've watched many movies where the ending was bad. You're like, damn, that was horrible. One of the reasons why Game of Thrones didn't end up being like the best TV series, because it could have been. Like, Game of Thrones was that good. It's because of the ending. Like, because everyone was rooting for the Mother of Dragon. She had a tragic story. Like, she was, she was abused in the beginning. We saw her grow up in front of us. I mean, maybe she was. We saw her grow in front of us. We saw her dragons grow in front of us. We saw her conquer empires in front of us. So we're rooting for her. So to see her die like that, to see her turn the way that she turned and ended up dying like that, like it was a tragic ending. It made a whole thing meaningless. Like, it made us not want to rewatch it. If you ever watched a movie and not want to rewatch it, you're like, but like the ending was just bad. Like, they ruined the ending, bruh. Like, that TV show was so great. And I think they fucked up because they were trying to be unpredictable. They were trying to be unpredictable. My favorite TV show ever, Atlanta. Very underrated TV show. Very underrated. Like, that TV show is like insane. The ending was the best ending that I've ever seen. The best ending that I've ever seen. And that made it, like, I was already loving the show, but that just, like, the ending just, like, I knew it was a great show, but the ending solidified it. Like, damn, that, like, it made it the greatest TV show in my eyes. So it really sucks that people suffer the way that they do in this realm. They go through hell, struggle, and die a meaningless death. Yeah, that someone got killed by a crocodile. You're like, damn, that's horrible. Someone got stabbed while they were coming home from work. Like, that's horrible. Someone got unalive by their partner. That's horrible. Someone died inside a building, a burning building. That's horrible. Someone, died from a heart attack. That's horrible. This reminds me of this other episode of Rick and Morty. Rick and Morty went to this planet where aliens invented a technology where you can, like, enter a simulation and like live life the way that you live life here on Earth. You wear a helmet and you enter that simulation. You wake up as a child and go to school, grow up, So Mori entered the game and immediately forgot who he was. So he felt like he was that child. Woke up, lived his life as that child, grew old, got married. I think he also had kids. Suffered from cancer, beat cancer, and then died one day when he was working at the library. He died one day when he was trying to put books on a top shelf, and he just fell and he just died. It kind of like cancels out the whole thing. It's like it makes the whole experience worthless. What was the point of all of that? But you look at how people end up like die in this realm. You ask yourself, what was the point? Why can't the ending be beautiful? Yes, we do celebrate people's lives after they've passed on. But most people who die, they've never been celebrated when they were alive. Like, they never give you flowers when you can still smell them. They want to give you flowers when you're gone. People will be there for you when you're gone. How sad is that? You can't even see them. People will drive very long distance, like they will drive just to come and bury you. But when you're alive and you need help, you call them, hey, I need your help. You find that they can help. They won't even help you. Hey, I'm working on this, blah, blah, blah. They won't even take your calls, but you die. They were going to be at a funeral. Isn't that crazy? People are respected more when they've died. Or respected when they've died. Find out when you're still alive, no one really respects you. And we might say no, but people, getting buried by their loved ones, like, that's a beautiful ending. But not really. Maybe it's beautiful for those who have attended the funeral, but the person who has died, it ain't beautiful for them. They're not there. Like, their lives ended when they died. Sometimes I can't believe that we go through so much for a life that can be taken away at any moment. It sucks that we don't know when our lives are going to end. And I think that tells us something about this place. Think about it. Why don't we know what's going to happen, like how the whole thing is going to end or when it's going to end? There's a person who passed away today. They woke up feeling great, had all the energy in the world, kissed their wives, kissed their husband, saying goodbye, they'll see them later, went to work. Before they got there, they died. Some died while they were at work. Some died on their way back. Isn't that sad? You go through life, bro. Like, you'd have relationships with people. You become invested. Like, there's a lot of things that end up mattering to you because you're here, but you can just die and leave it all. You could be working on something huge right now. Could be working on something huge, but something happens and you end up dying. before you could even finish what you've been working on. Like, life doesn't care. There's a reason why, if you ask people if they would want to relive their lives, they will tell you no. But if you ask them if they want to continue with their lives, I mean, they'll probably say yes. Like, most people will probably say yes. Because they have hope that things are going to work out, you know. They'll be like, things are bad now, I know, but, you know, things are going to make sense in the end. Like, people are looking for redemption now. But like, yeah, I've been through a lot, bro. I can't die. I've had conversations with people who would tell me that. Like, yo, what keeps me going is hope. I feel like I've suffered a lot, and I need a reward for myself. Like, I deserve something. You know, I can't just suffer, and then that's it. My life ends. You know, I need something that will make me feel like it was all worth it. But when people look at their lives, like, yeah, it wasn't. I just hope that it's going to make sense in the end. And what's sad is that for most people, it doesn't get to make sense. And even for those that it gets to make sense for, their lives still ends tragically. So someone might fight hard to succeed in life, and they end up succeeding. They end up making things happen, but end up dying, a tragic death. So you look at them and like, yeah, they have achieved a lot. They've achieved a lot of things that a lot of people want to achieve that they can't achieve, but look at how their lives ended. There are very few people in this world whose life actually made sense. You're like, but that was a good ending. Like, yeah, this person has died, but they did say goodbye. Like, maybe someone who was a musician. Like, if Jay-Z did the Black album and then he went back home and then you hear that he's gone. You're like, that was a good ending. Imagine if Jay ends up getting arrested. Because they've been saying that Jay-Z is being charged, blah, blah, blah. So imagine if he ends up getting arrested and ends up doing life in prison. What kind of ending is that? It cancels all his work. Like R. Kelly, for an example. It's hard to not call him the king of R&B. But look at how things are going for him. Imagine if he ends up dying in prison. It's okay to try to appreciate the little things. It's okay to try to focus on what we enjoy about life. You know, it's okay to try to enjoy life. Eat the kind of food that you want. Go to places that you've always wanted to go to. Surround yourself with people that make you feel good. But all of that doesn't really make this story beautiful. You look at people who are very successful and you wish you were them. but they're telling you that they're sad. They're telling you that they're not happy. You look at someone like Eminem, one of the most respected rappers in the world. Most people who like hip hop will tell you that he's top 5. Like he's in top 5 almost in every list. Like if you ask someone, who's your top 5? M is there. You know, black people, like black rappers don't really like white rappers. But M is so good that it's also loved by black rappers. But he'll tell you that he's not happy. And you think he's lying. But you like if you pay close attention, you'd realize that he's not. Like, dude is not happy. He has his own problems. He has his own demons that he's dealing with. So even the people that we think are doing well, the people that we want to be like, you find that they are not doing good. They are not enjoying this. You might look at their story and think that, yeah, it's a beautiful story. But you find that, yeah, even if from the outside it seems that way, but when they look at their own lives, you know, it doesn't really feel that way. I do think that if we had power over how like the dream ends, we will actually be able to make our stories make sense. You know, because in life you are creating a story, right? In life you actually are creating a story. Imagine if you made a movie and you made a movie and you decided when it's gonna end, but they say no, the movie shouldn't end there, and you're like, why? And like, now let's just keep on improvising. You know, the movie's gonna end when everyone is tired, when there's no one to record. You know, of course the story is not gonna be beautiful. Of course you're gonna mess up. There's a reason why TV shows like Empire ended up being garbage. Like the first season was dope. The first season, the second season, those seasons were dope. I think even the third season was not bad. But they kept on, kept on making shit up. So like Fast and Furious movies, for an example. But I've had a theory that Dom died, and he died maybe in the first movie of Fast and Furious, or not died actually, he was in a coma. So everything that happened was his dream. I think that would, like, that's the only way they could fix the franchise, because they started to fuck up. Like, you watch it. I laughed when what's the name of this character? When they ended up going to space. It was Fast and Furious 9, I think, ended up going to space. I was like, how does that happen? Like, there's too much fiction that you're like, this is garbage, man. When you look at the first Fast and Furious movie, like, it doesn't make sense that it will be like this now. So the story becomes boring as time goes by if you do not have control. And that's one of the biggest problems. We don't have control. We're not given control. See, the smarter you are, the more you want control, but you're not going to be given control in this room. I do try my best to make my life story beautiful, you know. I do try my best to make it make sense, to make it meaningful. You know, even in my relationships, it's just that sometimes, you know, when some relationships end and you try to have like a good ending. Like I don't like if I'm like friends with someone and maybe something happens and our friendship falls apart. If I see that okay we can't fix it, I will talk to them about the good times that we've had. Like, yo, it was a great friendship. Like, it doesn't mean that we must hate each other, wanna life one another and all that. You know, it just didn't work out. You know, not every relationship is gonna last forever. It's just how it is. You know, even when it comes to dating, I'll be like that. I'll tell, you know, the girl that it's, you know, I might not be happy that it's over, but this is what I've learned. This is what I've liked. You know, I've been like, I want my story to make sense. But yeah, you know, some people will be mad at you, even if you trying to explain yourself, trying to make things, you know, like trying to make the story beautiful. But I do try to make my story beautiful, man. It's not easy in this room. But it is good to always be trying to make your story better. That's why I told you that we mustn't allow ourselves to be controlled by our emotions. You know, it's like if you were drawing something. If you were angry, like you're trying to draw something and you were angry, sometimes you would, if you ever like try to draw something while you're angry, you might end up doing this and then throw the paper away. So that's how it is in life. You know, when we're angry, we make a lot of mistakes. We ruin things and make them worse than they should have been. And you find that the story becomes bad because of our anger. Thank you guys for watching this video. Like the video if you've been watching. If you're still watching and you've not liked the video, comment, tell me what topics you'd like me to talk about. If you have not subscribed, subscribe. There are 2 topics that were suggested in the last video that I've published. Someone asked me to talk about astral projection. Is it real? Oh, it's only happening in the mind. I've communicated with a lot of people who have told me that they've had an out-of-body experience, aka astral projection. They were able to come out of their own body and start floating and start seeing things. So is that real? Like, you come out of your body, you see me now, let's just say I decided to sleep and then I come out of my body and I start floating and then end up coming back into my body and then stand up and start walking. If you search astral projection on YouTube, you'll find people talking about their own experiences. So is it real? Is it really happen? Is that like can a person really have an out-of-body experience, or it's all happening in the mind? After all, it is possible to have a dream where you are having an out-of-body experience, right? But it's just a dream. One of the biggest questions that we need to ask ourselves about astral projection is, if it is really real, I mean, not saying it's, I'll explain, I'm not saying it's not real, by the way, but I also want to show you something. Wouldn't we be able to, like the people who are able to have an out-of-body experience, wouldn't they be able to prove to everyone that they are having an out-of-body experience? For example, someone sleeps and decide to go somewhere and maybe see things that they went, like see some secrets and then come back and then to that body and then report to us that, yeah, I've had an out-of-body experience and this is what I saw. And you find that it's real. The story checks out. If that doesn't happen, that actually means that it's all happening in the mind. People are just exploring their consciousness, based on what they know, based on what they're familiar with. Just like when you're dreaming, you dream about places that you're familiar with. So when you have an out-of-body experience, your mind is going to, because your mind is more powerful than you actually think. Like it records everything, all right? So you find yourself floating in places that you know, and you think that you are having an out-of-body experience while all of it is happening in the mind. So yes, we can call it astral projection, but it doesn't mean that your body is actually floating. Like it's an illusion, basically. I've almost had an out-of-body experience. I could feel it about to happen, but I kind of like let go. I remember I spoke to this girl from Italy. She also told me that she had the same experience, and she ended up having an out-of-body experience. But she's not sure how real it is. But she saw herself sleeping in a bed, wearing what she was wearing. Everything was the way that it was in the room. You know what I mean? But your mind is that powerful. It can recreate things. That's why in your dreams you talk to people that you actually know. How does your mind create your friends? Out of nowhere. You could find yourself in your favorite car. You could find yourself in a very beautiful place. You could find yourself, when you watch movies, like let's say that 2090, right? Like they show you some futuristic shit. You could have dreams where you are in the future, and things that are not you can only imagine are possible. Like that's how powerful your mind is. So yeah, if astral projection was what we think it is, this world will be different. It will mean that there will be no privacy. Because people will just decide to have an out-of-body experience and go wherever they want to go and stalk people. But it doesn't really work like that. People are just exploring their own minds. Your mind is so your mind is so powerful that anything is possible within your mind. Anything. It's possible to have any experience that you can think of, even experiences that you can't even think of consciously. You can have these experiences. That's how powerful your mind is. You can have a near-death experience, and you find that it's all happening in your mind. You're not actually having a near-death experience. It's all happening in your mind. You weren't actually about to die. Maybe you were in a coma, but you knew that something like that was about to happen. Like but let's just say you get hit by a car and you're in a coma. You saw the car that was about to hit you, so you thought you're about to die, and then you have a near-death experience. There's a reason why people do not go to the same place. It's not like when people have a near-death experience, they experience the same things. They're just exploring their own minds. They're exploring their own subconscious. There's a lot of information that's hidden in your subconscious. So, if you're going to be there for a while, there will be a lot of things that you're going to find out. There will be a lot of things that you're going to learn about your subconscious, about yourself. So I wouldn't say that when people, astral project, they're actually going outside of their bodies, like their souls are leaving their bodies and all that. Yeah, it's fun when something like that happens, obviously, but it's only happening in the mind. It's not like you are living your physical body for real, like your soul is living your physical body for real, or your consciousness is living your physical body for real, and it goes into the astral plane and all that. Like all of it is in the mind. All of it is in the mind. All of it is a dream. Another topic that was suggested is a topic about women. The person who suggested this topic said that talk about how I'm just going to be paraphrasing. The people who are honest, especially guys who are honest in relationships don't end up getting the girl. Like if you are honest, you end up being single. Talk about that. I think they said that I must talk about that. The truth is this. Both men and women, when they were kids, they were told lies about relationships, told lies about marriage. Remember when you were a kid, what kind of relationship did you imagine yourself in? What kind of movies did you like? Young girls be watching movies where there's this cute guy, who's perfect in every way. He doesn't make mistakes. You know what I mean? He's perfect. He says the perfect things all the time. You know what I mean? Like, it's like that. So they watch movies they grow up watching movies like that. If you're honest, no one is perfect, right? We all have flaws. You're honest about your flaws. You're not hiding anything. You're not going to be attractive to her because she's looking for the perfect guy that she saw when she was little. So the guys who lie, these are the guys who are going to win because they'll figure out what girls really want. Like, oh, this is what works. I just have to pretend as if I'm perfect. I mustn't overshare things, because she'll be turned off. I must just say the right things. That's it. I remember there's this video that I came across on TikTok that made me laugh. So this guy, it was after he's had a date with this girl, and she's like, yo, do you have any condoms? Come in. And he was like, yeah, I always have condoms. And she was like, wait, so you carry condoms? You thought that we were going to fuck, right? And he ended up not fucking because of that. But that's the thing. It's like, what did she think? That you know what I'm saying? But here's the right thing to say in that situation. Yeah, let me check my wallet. Oh, yeah, it's here, fortunately. Yeah, that's when you are hitting. Isn't that stupid? It's not real. It's not honest. Of course, if a guy takes you out on a date, he does want to hit in the end. Even if it doesn't hit the same day, but he does want to hit in the end. Like it ends, like he wants you guys to be attracted to each other. That's the end goal. Yeah, it's not like someone is taking you out on a date just for the sake of taking you out on a date. But women don't find that attractive in some ways. They don't find honesty attractive. Like you can't approach a woman and be like, and just be honest about your intentions like that. There has to be lies. There has to be BS. So a lot of girls who are very innocent, they feel like guys who are honest are evil, right? They'll look at you like evil. Oh, you want sex? Oh, you evil. You know what I'm saying? Like those girls that are innocent. So it's like that. It's if you are not honest, you play a game with women. You know what they want. You know what they want to hear. You mastered the art of seduction. You're good. You're not seducing no one by being honest. It doesn't work. Even women themselves, they're not really gonna, it's not easy to seduce a guy when you're truly honest. It's not easy. You have to say the right things. To make a guy really love you, you have to be saying the right things. You have to be complimenting him. Say things that are not true. Like, there'll be girls who will be saying, you are the best I've ever heard. You're giving me the best sex. Like, no one has ever, fuck me like you're fucking me. You find that she says that to every guy who's actually good and bad. But yeah, she says that to every guy. And he loves her more and talks and brags to his friends. But yeah, she said this, she said that. You know, like, she says that to everyone. She knows that you want to hear that. She knows exactly what you want to hear. There are women who actually know what men want to hear. So if she wants you, she's going to say that, and you're going to, you're going to be thinking that you're the best, or you're not. So yeah, the relationships that we're building nowadays are based on a lie. Like, we lie to one another a lot as people. Honesty is considered to be toxic. Like, the ones who are actually honest in relationships are toxic. Ever realize that? It's weird, actually. Like, you say something honest. One thing honest in a relationship, you're toxic, you're bad, you're unattractive. Now you are hated. You used to be loved because you used to lie, or because you allowed your woman to think of you a certain way. The guy who said that I should talk about this topic also said that, yeah, that's why the guys who teach guys how to get women say that they must be mysterious and all that. If you are mysterious, you're more attractive because women create their own stories about you, right? So you just let them create their own stories about you, never reveal too much. So they think you are this perfect guy. That is why if you don't talk a lot and you don't show emotion, you're just, you have these eyes that they can't really read. There's this guy from the movie, not the movie, the TV series Shameless. I forgot his name. A lot of women were very attracted to him. He has these eyes. The eyes look like you can't read him. Whether he's angry, whether he's happy, you can't read him. So it allows women to create fantasies about him. Like, tell themselves stories about him that are not even true. But if you show emotion a lot, like, they figure you out that easily and there's no mystery. Now they figured you out. They figured out that you're not perfect. You're just like any other person. Like, have you ever had a girl say, you're just like any other guy? It's like, yeah, every guy is like any other guy. No one is like really special in that way. It's just, what matters is if he loves you or not. You know what I mean? Like, every guy is just like any other guy. So once that fantasy is gone now, once that mystery is gone, now she's totally unattracted to you. So that's how it works. The more honest you are, the more vulnerable you are, the more she loses attraction. It's crazy. It's crazy that that's how it works, but that's how it works. If you have dated in your life, you know that the fastest way to make your woman lose attraction towards you is you being vulnerable. It's you telling her who you are. Because now you're shattering that illusion that she had about you. The lies that she told herself about you. Now she's like, fuck. He's just like any other man. But that's not what she was telling herself in the beginning. So if you share less, you're good. Right? That is why they say that most marriages just end because of women. Like, they decide that it's over. Because once they start to live with you and then they realize that you're not the guy that they thought you were. So they get bored because of that, right? So that's how it works, right? That's how it works. So it sucks that, because here's the thing, I was telling this other girl the other day, I was like, here's the thing, we like to complain about guys leaving women with children and not even take care of their children. I'll be like, but The reason why those guys win is because they don't care enough. And if you don't care enough, you don't reveal too much. Do you get what I'm saying? You don't express yourself too much. And that allows a girl to create stories about you that are not even true for her to be attracted to you, right? Have you ever realized that if you show real interest in a girl, you become exactly what they say they want, they quickly lose interest, bruh, like quickly. It's because they want to create stories about you. After they've created stories about you, now they want you to be vulnerable. Now, here's the thing, and I want you all to get this. This is super important. Let me give you this example before I explain what I want to explain. I remember I came across this post on Facebook where they say that that Jane chick didn't love Peter Parker. She loved Spider-Man, right? So if you ask Spider-Man to express himself, she's not asking him to express himself as Peter Parker. No. Not that loser Peter Parker who's getting bullied by everyone. No, she's going to quickly lose attraction. Quickly. And he's going to think she's evil. She's going to be so fucking mean towards him. She's going to be turned off by him. It's going to be crazy. He's going to be shocked. She's asking Spider-Man to express himself. What are his insecurities? So he has to speak as Spider-Man. So when you express yourself, if she created this perfect guy in her head, you still have to express yourself as the perfect guy that she's created in her head. Once you express yourself as this, the opposite of that, she's losing interest. She's not into you anymore. She's gone. You ain't getting her back. It sucks, but that's how it works. And even women know this. They just maybe don't think about it enough to realize that it's true. Because some women might not even think, they don't even think about it. But women who are self-aware, they know about this. Like, if you go on YouTube and actually search for women who are actually self-aware, like they're talking about relationships, they will tell you this, you know? Like, it's how it is. You want to lose a woman. Like, even when we were kids, bro, like, the kids, like the male kids that were very emotional, like these women were very mean towards them. Very, very mean to, like the girls, they were very mean towards them. They liked the boys who weren't really emotional, you know. That's how it is. Thank you for suggesting this topic. It's one of the most interesting topics to talk about, because I know that a lot of guys who have struggled a lot with women are guys who are honest with themselves and who have who have good intentions, who don't want to hurt women, and they end up being the ones who get hurt because honesty doesn't work. You see, because the real truth is that no one is actually perfect. No guy is perfect. You know, even the guys that you think are perfect, the end rotates. You can look at someone like that and be like, he's perfect. Like, no, he has his own insecurities for real. You know, he has his own fears. Like, it's easy to act tough online, right? To act like you don't have any weaknesses. Like, everyone does have weaknesses, bro. Like, if you got to know about his weaknesses, you'll be surprised. Thank you all guys for watching until the end. Like, subscribe, and share.